Chemical cards, question and answers, and soap notes. This video is going to walk you through how you can create your own chemical cards, questionnaires, and how you can manage any existing ones. You're going to want to click on Manager, Admin, and Q&As. Under your Q&A tab, you're going to see on the left-hand side a list of any existing chemical cards or questionnaires that have already been created. This is how you will manage existing ones. You can select any that you want to make changes to. Click Update Question Set at the bottom right corner. And this will allow you to update any of the existing questions or add new question sets. When you select Update, it's going to show you the prompt. The prompt stands for the questions. So if it's going to be a question or maybe just a title, you can enter that here and then select if this is going to be a fill in the blank type of question or a type of title or information that you need, or if you're going to select from list. When you select from list, it's going to allow you to enter the options. So you can say yes, no, and all your stylist or students will need to do is circle one of those, versus fill in the blank. It'll print out a line and allow them to fill in the information. Something like formula would be recommended to be a fill in the blank because they're going to be writing in the formula that they used, versus a question such as when was the last time they had chemicals, and that could be a 4 to 6 week range, 8 to 10 week range, and you can enter those options here so that they can simply circle them. You can also change the order that the existing questions show up in by selecting Move Up or Move Down. So you can select the one that you'd like to move and then select Move Up or Move Down. Anytime you've made changes, you are going to want to click Save. And if you need to make more changes, then you can click Update Question Set again. But we can say move down or move up, depending on what order you want to create those in. And this is going to allow you to make those changes. That's going to save that existing question and answer. If you need to create a brand new question set that has not been created yet, you click Add Question Set. Enter the title of the question set. You want to make sure that you create a name or a title here that you're going to be able to recognize right away, because the second step to this is associating your questionnaires to your actual services, and you'll want to be able to tell all these questionnaires apart. So if this was going to be specifically for manicures, I would want to name this manicures, or maybe manicure Q&A. Press OK. That's going to go ahead and create that new question set for you. You're going to see Add It here, and it's going to allow you to add as many questions as you need to. For example, I can enter shape, and I can do a select from list from this, and it could be square, maybe the shape they're requesting, and I can have other options here. This would allow the student or the stylist to simply circle one of these options, press OK, and you're going to start showing those questions that you have added, and you can continue to add questions right in here. If you ever just need to remove one of these questions, you can highlight it, click Remove. If you need to make changes to it, you highlight it and you click Update. If you need to add a brand new prompt or question, then you click Add, and you're going to see this window again so that you can add a brand new question or prompt right in here. Once you're done creating your questionnaire, then you can click Save, and that's going to save any changes, and now you've created a brand new questionnaire. If there is any questionnaires that you need to deactivate or no longer want them to be available within your software, you can highlight them and select Deactivate Question Set at the top right corner. It's going to confirm that you indeed want to deactivate that. You're going to say yes, and that question set is no longer going to show up in the left-hand side here, and it'll no longer be available. If you have a very long questionnaire set and you need to create another very similar one, you can always utilize the copy question set, and that's going to copy it, allow you to give it a new name, and then you can go in there and make minor changes. And that's a great tool to use if you're creating a very similar questionnaire to one that's already existing. Once you have done that, you have completely successfully created your questionnaires. Again, you can come in here at any time, manager, admin, Q&As, and make any changes to these existing questionnaires or chemical and answers, okay? So the next portion to this, in order for the system to recognize that these questionnaires need to be associated to a service or they need to be printed out anytime a service is performed, is that you'll want to associate it with that specific service. That's the only way the system will know, A, that the service is a chemical service, and B, which kind of questionnaire needs to print out and be recorded for that specific service. So I'm going to go back over here to my guest screen just so that we can start from the beginning. So once you have created your questionnaires and your chemical questions look exactly the way that they need to look, you can come into manager, admin, and service. And this is where you manage all your services, and you're probably very familiar with this. On the left-hand side, you have a list of all of your existing services. And if you click on any one of these, you will see the information for each and one of these. You'll see the name, service type, and chemical card. If it says no chemical card, that indicates to the system that this is not a chemical service and there's no need to print out a questionnaire or to acknowledge a disclaimer or capture a signature. If something is categorized as no chemical card, it'll just indicate that to the actual software. Now, if you need to assign this service and associate it with a specific chemical card because you want to make sure that those questions are being answered for these services, you're going to click Update Service. And under Chemical Card, you're going to have a list of all the active Q&As that are within that tab that we just worked on. So any questionnaires that you have already created, you will be able to come in here, select which one that one belongs to, and click Save. Once you do that, anytime somebody is checked in for this service, on the service ticket, those questions are going to print out and allow your students and stylists to be able to fill them in, as well as you'll be able to enter those chemical questions within your transaction tab. So you can come into the transaction tab where your front desk staff can, and they'll be able to track those chemical cards or enter those services. So you have a chemical card button here. If that service that was processed had a chemical card associated to that service, they will be able to enter those chemical cards. They can always do that from different areas in here too. So when you are checking in a specific client, before you check them out, you are able to select chemical card depending on the service that's added to the ticket. Those are the questionnaires that are going to pop up within those actual services. So again, making sure that you've created those, you've associated them with the actual services so that when you add them and somebody needs to enter that chemical information, those are the questions that are going to appear here. Your prompt is going to appear in this area. If it's a fill in the blank, it'll look like this. And if it's a select from list, you'll see the options and then you can select those specific options. And just a really quick overview, first you'll want to make sure that you've created your questions and your answers by coming into Manager, Admin, Q&A. You can manage any of the existing ones and make changes, add additional questionnaires, move the order, change the questions that you have in here, and completely edit them as you need to, as well as creating brand new question sets by clicking Add Question Set. Once that's completed, then you move on to your Service tab, where you will be able to associate the service with that questionnaire. So again, you look up and you find that specific service that you're looking for, select Update Service, and select from that questionnaire list here, and let the system know exactly which questionnaire you would like to associate with this service, and press Save. You have successfully been able to manage and add any new chemical questions, SOAP notes, or Q&As or questionnaires as needed. If you have further questions, don't hesitate to reach out to our tech support team at 1-800-967-0249.